Good afternoon. This is Word at Noon on Osrc television. My name is Allen. Today is Armed Forces Remembrance Day. It is a day set aside to appreciate the armed forces and to remember the families of the fallen heroes. The governor of Ondo State, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, said no efforts will be spared towards protecting the state and its
is a vow love
to widows of the fallen heroes.
Commitment to security of lives and property of not only the people of the Sunshine State, but that of the entire Southwest. Today, Amotekun cause has come to stay in Ondo State and other Southwest states.
Still on Armed Forces and Remembrance Day celebration, efforts of the Nigerian military and other security agencies at maintaining national cohesion as well as global peace have been commended. Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa at a special church service marking the 2024 Armed Forces and Remembrance Day urged more support for the heroes past and their dependents. Government House correspondent Wahab Banklo reports that the second Bible lesson read by Governor Aiyedatiwa from the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verses 8 to 13.
The Chapel of Grace, Government House Grand, Akure, the Ondo State capital, laid host to members of the State Executive Council, heads of security agencies, military and paramilitary agencies, Nigeria's heroes past and their dependents, as well as top government functionaries. The occasion is the special service commemorating the 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Day. The second Bible lesson was read by Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa from the book of Philippians, chapter 4, verses 8 to 13.
I will sum it all up, friends, and say you will do best by filling your mind and meditating on things true, noble, reputable, authentic, compelling, gracious. Whatever I have, wherever I am, I can make it through anything in the one who makes me who I am. May God bless the reading of God's word. Amen.
In his exhortation titled The Supernatural Strength, the state chairman, Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Bishop Joshua Opayinka, said no battle can be won by humans without God's backing.
All family heads, all fathers, mothers, even bully your own house, it is not natural. Doing it natural can never do anything good, but with the help of the Lord, you can do it better. And you can be a good father, a good mother in our respective houses in Jesus' name.
The commander, 32 Artillery Brigade, Brigadier General Mukhtar Adamu, represented by the commanding officer, Forward Operating Base Igbokoda, Captain Wasuku Aluchi, urged the congregation to always remember security agencies in their prayers for renewed strength to combat insecurity in the country.
In your prayers, even as we strive to discharge our duties in ensuring the unity, the peace and prosperity of our dear nation.
Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa said the celebration is aimed at rekindling interest in the affairs of the families and dependents of Nigerians who lost their lives in wars and peacekeeping operations across the world.
Aside missions, we are also aware that many security challenges have claimed the lives of many of our great officers and soldiers. Which we are also continuing. We need your continual cooperation and support to be successful in these onerous tasks.
That's the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Development, Mrs. Adebumi Oshadaun, said 2024 Armed Forces Remembrance Day will be concluded with parade and laying of wreaths, as well as empowerment of widows of the heroes past as the government cenotaph in Akure. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Students of Federal University of Technology Akure in Ondo State have blocked the entrance to the school premises in protesting against the tuition fees increase by the management of the institution. None is allowed in. Workers and students were sighted hanging around the school gate. They carried placards with different inscriptions questioning the reasons behind the increase, saying FUTA is a public school, not private. There are heavy presence of security personnel guiding against breakdown of law and order. Vehicular movements were not restricted on the major road as the students maintained the entrance of the institution for their protest.
Behind me are the students of the Federal University of Technology Akure FUTA protesting increase of hike in their school fees. Who knows? We don't know yet how many days they're going to be here, but they are still here, declining to speak with the press as at the time of filing this report.
The Joint Admission and Matriculation Bill says persons living with disability who wish to sit for the 2024-2025 Registrar Ishaq Oloyede disclosed this while rolling out the registration process for interested candidates across the country. While announcing that registration for the 2024 matriculation examination will commence today, Oloyede said JAMB will issue free application documents to all categories of persons living with disability as a form of support. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, finally coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, the Minister of Budget Planning, Atiku Bagude, and other stakeholders in the agriculture sector have met to boost food production and reduce food inflation. The meeting held at the weekend in Abuja was in line with the directive of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's declaration of food security emergency under the National Agricultural Growth Scheme and Agro Pocket NAGS-AP program. Speaking after the meeting, Gary stated that the objective of the forum was to also review the implementation of the 2023-2024 dry season with production implemented in 15 wheat producing states of the Federation. The minister said there were observed lapses in the implementation process, hence the need for collective and comprehensive evaluation of efforts to be put in place and proper remedial measures to forestall their reoccurrence. In his remarks, Edun said there were substantial intervention funds for the agri sector to produce more rice, maize, wheat, and cassava. Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project SERAP has urged the Senate President in the country and cut the cost of governance. SERAP urged them to ask President Bola Tinubu to present a fresh supplementary appropriation bill which reflects the reduced National Assembly budget for approval. The organization also urged them to publish details of the National Assembly budget of 344.85 billion naira, including the proposed spending details of 3 billion naira for the Senate car park and 3 billion naira budgeted for the House of Representatives car park. In a letter at the weekend, signed by SERAP Deputy Director Olawole Oluwadare, the organization said passing appropriation bills that are inconsistent with the provisions of the Nigerian Constitution is a fundamental breach of the constitutional oath of office by the lawmakers. According to SERAP, the unilateral and self-serving increase by the lawmakers of their own allocation also offends the principles of separation of powers and checks and balances and the notion of the rule of law. The second major oil plant dealers under the aegis of the Major Oil Marketers Association of Nigeria confirmed that with the registration, they would commence the distribution of fuel produced from the facility once the commercial terms are sorted. This came as the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria also revealed that they would meet with the management of the Dangote refinery this week to discuss terms of product loading. Similarly, the Petroleum Products Retail Outlets Owners Association of Nigeria stated that Petron had been engaging the management of the multi-billion-dollar refinery for the supply of products from the facility. As Ipman and Petron engaged the refinery, major marketers who are members of MOMAN have already registered with the plant and are set to start buying products. The Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Fayuade Adegoke, said no police officer is to search the phones of any Nigerian. He noted that the police force had a cyber section responsible for that, adding that if a police officer suspected anything, they would take the person to the station so the phone could be searched. The Rivers State Police Command said its men has killed a wanted cult leader identified as Silas Oderereke and his accomplice during a shootout in the Oderereke community, Howder West local government area of the state. The command said Oderereke, also known as General, is leader of the Greenlanders cult group in the UB clan in Howder West, had been on the run for the past 4 years. Spokesperson for the State Police Command, Grace Irigekoko, confirmed the death of the two cultists in a statement issued in Port Harcourt. Irigekoko said the notorious cult leader and his gang were involved in armed robbery, land grabbing, unauthorized sale of buildings, and brutal attacks on those who dared to oppose them. The acting director in charge of finance and administration in the Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation, Mrs. Modupe Aregbesola, has bowed out of civil service after 26 years of government engagements. It was showers of encomium as she drew the curtain on the civil service, having clocked the age of 60. Osrc's joy choirs captured the 60th birthday celebration and hands down ceremony held at the station's headquarters, and now reports.
The wish of every civil servant after serving the government meritoriously is to retire without flaws. For Mrs. Modupe Aregbesola, her joy knew no bounds as friends, Colleagues and family members gathered to rejoice with her at her pens down and birthday ceremony.
A beautiful G, a wonderful R, an amazing A colorful C, and an excellent E. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Colleagues as well as former Director of Finance and Administration, Oluwole Oluwafemi, extolled Aregbesol's virtues with a charge to civil servants to be committed and work towards self-development.
Aregbesola is such a reliable woman. She is not perfect, and she doesn't pretend.
The passion with which she relates with people, in the environment, in every way, she's been somebody you will notice the grace of God in her life.
We know who Mrs. Aregbesola is. She's very, very loyal, dedicated, and humble.
So I pray that, Madam, as you are return into good health, peace of mind, and prosperity.
The chairman, Osrc Media Group, Kunle Adebayo, represented by the Director News and Current Affairs, Nike Busari, described the celebrants as an hardworking officer who discharged her duties diligently.
I want to thank you, Ma, on behalf of the chairman. It says that you are someone that surpasses his expectation. As you're going, Ma, I leave you with this. You have been doing good and it is paying. Please continue to do that good.
I can see her hand. She's signing up. Remember to put today's date. Remember to write your last commendation or recommendation. Going. Gone.
The celebrants, husband and family members expressed gratitude to God for the privilege to serve in various capacities.
I'm really excited and I'm happy for witnessing it, for making it a reality. The day that I've been hoping for. I appreciate God. My prayer is that all that I've tabled before my God, soonest, more than my expectation, that God should grant me.
I'm on top of the world. I'm very happy. She has always been a loving wife, mother of my children, my best friend, and a very good civil servant, dedicated one. So I wish her best of luck, and I know, by God's grace, more good things are still coming.
My mom is somebody you run to, you tell her a problem, and you are rest assured. She will do everything humanly possible to make it happen for you. That is who she is, not only to her children, but to everyone.
Mrs. Modupe Aregbesola joined the Ondo State Civil Service on July 1st, 1997, and began her career as a secretary with the then ODRC, now Ondo State Radiovision Corporation, where she rose to the position of Deputy Director, Finance and Administration. Mrs. Modupe Aregbesola retired at the mandatory age of 60 as an acting director in charge of Finance and Administration in the Ondo State Radiovision Corporation after 26 years of active service. Joy Pius, Osrc News.
People who had returned to Grandavik in southwest Iceland after the previous eruption were forced to leave their rooms once again. Science journalist and volcanologist Robbie Andrews said the ongoing eruption is an extremely perilous and deleterious situation now that lava has made its way into the town. Speaking with newsmen, he pointed out that the outpour of lava from the two current fissures shows no sign of slowing down. In terms of duration and severity of damage, it's impossible to map at this moment. He warned that the aftermath of the eruption could prove fairly problematic for people with pre-existing respiratory problems because volcanic activity releases gases such as sulfur dioxide, which is an irritant to the skin, eyes, nose, and throat. Houthi forces have been attacking ships in the Red Sea since November, launching more than 100 drone and missile attacks on vessels passing through the vital shipping lane. The Iranian-backed rebel group controls a large part of Yemen and has previously claimed its attacks are directed at vessels linked to Israel in response to the war in Gaza. Their attacks on cargo ships in the Red Sea have led many of the world's biggest shipping companies to announce they will avoid the area. Just this morning, oil company Qatar Energy announced its decision to pause shipping via the route to seek security advice. In response, the US and UK have launched strikes aimed at degrading the military capability of the Houthis, hitting nearly 30 locations in Yemen on Friday alone. The US followed up on Saturday with another strike on the Houthi raider side. Meanwhile, Israeli tanks and aircraft have hit targets in southern and central Gaza as the war reached 100 days since the October 7 attack led by gunmen from the Islamist Hamas movement. Communications and internet services were down for the third day running, complicating the work of emergency and ambulance crews trying to help people in areas hit by fighting. Zaid Arabisala has more.
Eba Bakr and a family fled their homes in Gaza City for this makeshift tent in Rafah along the border of Egypt. It's been 100 days since Hamas gunmen from Gaza poured into Israel, killing and kidnapping and provoking a massive Israeli military reprisal on the densely populated and deeply impoverished enclave. For Boker, one of the 2.3 million residents of Gaza, it's been a nightmare of displacement and death.
We feel that we're in a nightmare, that we can't leave. We don't know what will happen next. Is there something worse than this?
Almost 24,000 Palestinians have been killed and 60,000 wounded in the invasion, according to Gaza health authorities. The invasion began after Hamas militants rampaged through Israeli communities on October 7, murdering 12 people and taking more than 200 hostages. Israeli in Tel Aviv rallied to mark 100 days since their loved ones were taken prisoner in Gaza.
In a way, it's been the same day for me. It's October 7th every day because I wake up to the same horror.
Levi Shatter is a mother of 19-year-old Naomi Levy. A daughter was last seen in this video posted by Hamas on October 7 being dragged at gunpoint by Palestinian gunmen in Gaza barefoot, her pants soaked in blood, her hands tied and her cuffs bruised and bleeding.
Nama, if you hear me, if you see me, just hang in there. We're doing everything we can to bring you back. You will come back, you will return.
Israeli leaders say their military operations has two goals: eradicating the Hamas Islamist group that has governed Gaza and returning all the Israeli captives. Israel says it targets militant and does all it can to minimize harm to non-combatants. But the scale of the killing in Gaza and the dire humanitarian situation has shocked world opinion.
אחד מהדברים שהתבררו בלי כל ספק זה שאנחנו חייבים לנהל את המלחמה הזאת והיא תיקח עוד חודשים ארוכים.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at a cabinet meeting said he expected the war would take many more months and the already harrowing death toll is only expected to climb. 22 members of the Abu Huaid family were killed when an Israeli airstrike hit his home in Rafah in November. Muhammad Abu Oheda said the bodies of 3 of his nephews still remain buried in the rubble, with their names waiting here for now. He said he comes here every day hoping to recover their remains. It's been months of grief for Israeli or Palestinians mourning children lost or praying for children held hostage. And at the 100 days milestone, Many now face fears for children in the future.
I am 6 months pregnant. Since the beginning of this war until now, I haven't visited any clinic for checkups. I don't know what the situation of my baby is. I don't know anything.
Sahida Ribisala, Osrc News.
Beijing called him a troublemaker and a dangerous separatist. Now he will be Taiwan's next president. People of China picked their 64-year-old vice president, a decade-turned politician, William Lei Ching-te, to lead Taiwan through his testy relationship with China. Aderunke Kolawole has more.
A jubilant celebration in Taiwan's capital Taipei as the ruling Democratic Progressive Party presidential candidate Lai China swaps to power. The win rebuffed China, which said it would not give up its goals to reunification had the celebration live audited to victory. The Taiwanese people have taken action to successfully resist the intervention of external forces, he said, adding this is because we believe in electing our own president, but he added he was quite determined to safeguard Taiwan from threat and intimidation from China. His DPP party champions Taiwan's separate identity and regret China's territorial claims. And then run up to the election, China denounced Lai as a dangerous separatist and has repeatedly rebutted Kai's call for talks. The DPP was seeking a third successful 4-year term, something that is unprecedented under Taiwan's current electoral system, mounting public frustration at domestic issues across its 8 years empowerment. It has lost its majority in parliament, making it harder to lie to pass legislation. Taiwan's election took place at a time of growing geopolitical tensions between Beijing and the United States, the latter in Taiwan's most important international backer and arms supply despite the lack of formal diplomatic ties with Thailand in response to the win. US President Joe Biden said the United States does not support the independence of Taiwan. The Biden administration has feared that the election and subsequent transition to a new administration would escalate conflict with Beijing. Since the last election in 2020, China has engaged in an unprecedented level of military activity in the Taiwan Strait, including holding 2 rounds of major war games near the island. Lai, however, said, quote, "Only peace will benefit both sides." Aderunke Kolawole, Osrc News.
And that's the news. Many thanks for watching. Good afternoon.